Morning. Well, this is the year. This is a year, and this is what our theme is going to be for the new year, at least in Massillon. I imagine magnificent gifts in 2026. But before we imagine the wonderful gifts that are going to come by us, we have to get rid of some stuff. Stuff we've been carrying around for years. So I imagine magnificent gifts in 2026. That's my theme. And themes are like setting a goal. They're like an intention. And those are very important things to do. I was going to write a talk one time about just don't go through the line, throw them out. But anyway, I like that picture because that's what we're going to be doing. All that baggage we've been carrying around, we're going to get rid of. So I invite you to enjoy this. We're going to do the meditation at the end, and we're going to come up and after we have a little meditation and you fill out what you want to release for the new year, you're going to come up here and you're going to you're not going to take the big piece of paper because the fire department will come if all of you burn those. But the little piece of paper will be representative of what you are releasing. And I'm going to ask Edie to come up and demonstrate to you right before it, not right now, to show you how to do it because you have to release it. You put that to the flame and you have to let it go. And sometimes that's hard. So we'll get on with now. We want the new year to bring new opportunities, at least I do, to live our highest self. To make way clear for that, we have to let go of a lot of things that are in our hidden closet that don't serve us anymore. Doubts, fears, uncertainties, debts if you have them. And we ceremoniously burn with a cleansing flame. And there's a reason we do this. This is the last Sunday of the year. And together we're going to release and forgive so that we no longer have to be carrying those burdens on our backs. So as part of our traditional burning bowl ceremony, we embrace the opportunity to take this burning bowl ceremony and take that step to release. I'm glad you decided to join us today because this is a very powerful ceremony. It's a very sacred one. I hope you follow through because you're going to have that piece of paper left over that you're going to write on what you want to get rid of. And you can take that and put it somewhere where you can look at it every once in a while in something that you read every day. And just remember what you're releasing. When we do something like a burning bowl ceremony, what we're doing is filling our subconscious with the thought of release, with the idea that we can release. And that will come back over and over again if you keep looking at that little piece of paper and saying, I'm doing this. The gesture of breaking bread usually comes after the ceremony. And so it has a rich meaning. The breaking of bread means community. It means that we are not separate. We're together. And it's with familiarity and openness. So I don't know what we're doing today, if we have anything out there that we can munch on, but we can go back and talk together and just have that feeling that we're breaking bread. We are actually doing something afterwards to meld this group more securely together. I've seen posters that say today is the first day of a new beginning, and each day certainly has that potential, unless we carry our old baggage into tomorrow. Imagine if I hadn't cleaned house, if I hadn't cleaned all year, or maybe not even the year before that. What if I hadn't done anything at all that would make my house look like? What do you think it would look like? A mess. Yes, there might even be bugs, right? So imagine if we never clean out our minds. Same thing. We get little bugs in there. So one of the powerful things we can do as a human being is the Christ mind, of using that power of the Christ mind and the power of elimination. So that's actually the divine power we're going to be using today, the power of elimination. You have to get rid of things every once in a while. You have to sweep the floor, we have to sweep our mind. Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founder in Unity, used to say, you got to sweep those cobwebs out of your mind. And I've always remembered that, because cobwebs, if they're very, very dense, can obstruct new things coming in, the sunlight and everything else. So I believe strongly for all of us that this year, this new year of 2026, will be a charmed year of prosperity, health, wealth, and spiritual growth if we make a daily habit of cleaning out all the negative thoughts. I'm a great one for knowing that in my subconscious mind are many things that I'm sure I don't know about, but they keep coming up. And as they do, I try to work with that. And I invite you anytime you hear yourself saying, I'm so tired, that you stop and you say, I am is never tired. I am is that Christ within you. What you can say is, I'm feeling a little bit like I need to rest. Feeling is different than saying, I am. I just want to make that, I do that a lot because I think in my own mind, I have certain habitual phrases that come out of my mouth because I learned them as a little girl. So make a habit of cleaning out negative thoughts daily, and then your mind is clear for the next day. You can do this before you go to bed. Review your day just for a second or two. Say, it was a pretty good day. You know, I could have done better here, but boy, I really excel here. Congratulate yourself. We need to hear that we are worthy, and we need to hear it from ourselves first. So the negative things are essentially unproductive trash when you get right down to it. So if we want to walk in the promised land of happiness and joy and all those good things we're looking for, we have to break that momentum of habitual thinking, of habitual saying things out loud that we really don't mean. We're getting ready right now to set ourselves free by participating in this service. We can decide today to have anything we want, and we can remove any blocks standing in our way. It just takes a little bit of commitment and a very, very big intention. Because we know the law of mind action, we will have exactly what we decree in our lives. The law of mind action simply says, you know, what you put out there is what's going to come back to you. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder in Unity, said that thoughts occupy space. If we want to unblock ourselves, if we want answers to our prayers, we have to decide to take a moment today, every day, and listen to what we're praying about, because we're praying all the time. We have to decide to take out those walls of negativity and create a passageway for good. So that's what our co-founder said. We're given free will, and one of the big, powerful free will actions we can take is this power of elimination. This very morning, we're going to take all those thoughts that are in our mind and clean our house. So this is the year. Cleaning our mental house can be hard work. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. Let me say that again. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. So it's work. It's an attitude of, I can do it. Resolutions are really just means to our goals and our dreams, and we can still make them. But goals are dreams with deadlines. Beyond deadlines, our dreams define our lifetime. T.S. Eliot said, only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. So think about that for a moment. When's the last time you really took a risk? You said something to somebody you've been meaning to say for a long time. Kindly, nicely, if it's something that's hard to do, or if it's a compliment. You do it sincerely, but you're a little bit shy. Do it anyway. Take that risk. Take that risk to find out about somebody that you've never talked to in church or in another organization. Risk it. You don't have to do a whole lot. Just say, hi, I wonder why you come to this church. Whatever. Today, as spiritual beings, we're going to take mastery of elimination in a mental realm of our lives and create a new existence, a dream life for 2026. I'm so excited about 2026. I don't care what the predictions are. I'm predicting that we can have the year that we want to have. Elimination is just one of the 12 powers or abilities that Charles Fillmore defined as inherent gifts that God has given us. We just have to exercise them like any muscle. So the ability to release, remove, denounce, deny, and let go is what we're working towards. And the disciple who represents that is Thaddeus. He represents the expulsion of negative thinking. Add that corresponding color is russet, and the location is in the abdominal region. The entire Unity movement is going to be doing this today. So we're among a lot of folks who are lifting up their eyes and saying, yes, I want a different life. I want a life that works well for me most of the time. There's always going to be little upsets. We'll be looking at the Unity principles as a vehicle to finding and keeping true prosperity in an abundant life. And an abundant life means you have good health, it means you have good relationships, it means you have enough to share and spare. It means that your life is working for you, and that's what we're all waiting for. And we'll be looking at Jesus Christ. He talked about the power of forgiveness. Forgiveness is elimination. Sometimes we have to forgive ourselves. Sometimes we have to forgive somebody who's hurt us a long time ago. I know a woman who has not talked to her sister for 40 years. She told me yesterday that the sister actually sent her a Christmas card this year. But here's the interesting part. She had been thinking of her sister since November, thinking, I really wish, I'm not even sure why we aren't talking anymore. It's been so long. So she started thinking about it, and then her sister caught the wavelength somehow and sent her a Christmas card. She said there wasn't much on it, just wishing me a Merry Christmas, and she actually signed it love. So there's always hope. The word January is a root word for janitor, which means to clean up and clean out. It comes from the Roman god Janus. Janus was a two-headed god. He could look forward or he could look backward to the past. So we can too. Our minds are pivotal. And we can use the power of judgment to look both ways. We can decide what we want in the future, and we can decide what we no longer want. We are blessed. We are blessed with this quality. The Burning Bowl service is a service that can have tremendous power if we enter it reverently and with a real commitment in our heart that we are going to really do this. We empower ourselves by writing down what we no longer want in our lives. And then we go into prayer, and we crumple up what we have written, or we can take it to the fire, and we throw it into the flames. And that little piece of paper is going to represent everything you put down on the bigger piece of paper. There's a secondary power, which is our subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind can replay this burning bull experience over and over again throughout the year. You can remember, I threw that away. I remember that going up in flames. So we can remember that we allowed those flames to consume those old negative patterns. So I'm going to say an affirmation. And it's the same one I said at the beginning, but I'd like you to say it with me. I'm going to say it first. This is the year. I imagine magnificent gifts in 2026. Let's say that together. I imagine magnificent gifts in 2026. So how exciting to start dreaming up what you want to create for tomorrow. So after we have eliminated all of this stuff that we need to do, it's critical not to give up. I call this time between making decisions oven time. You know what oven time is? Well, when we make cookies in a recipe, we have to put them in the oven, and we have so much time, right? So give time to cook, to bake, to come into fruition. It's like that with our dreams. The important thing about dreams is to have one, first of all. And Walt Disney once said, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. There will always be people who are going to tell us, like my son and daughter-in-law like to do to me, that you're old, Mom. You know, you shouldn't be driving that far. I've driven more than they've ever thought about. I've driven to Mississippi by myself for years. I've driven to Unity Village, and I've never had an accident. So don't buy into that stuff. especially us who are a little bit older. So this morning, as we share this ceremony of the burning bowl, we're going to ask Spirit to show us those things that we need to release. We don't have to rely on our memory. Maybe there's one important thing you have to do. And then a word or two or a sentence you can write down those old thoughts, those old attitudes, and beliefs. Beliefs are very important to look at. You can continue doing this when you go home, too. But when you're ready to release, to cleanse from your being, bless them and totally release them. Say, you served a purpose at one time. It's true. But I don't need you anymore. I can't know what you may be holding on to, or what you may have experienced in your life, or how painful it may have been. But I know one thing. If you're like Lot's wife, and you keep looking back, what's going to happen? You're going to turn to a pillar of salt, which simply means that there's more of a bitterness than there is of a sweetness within you. So I want you to have the abundant life I know God wants you to have. And I want mine too. So to participate in this burning bowl service, I'm going to ask you to honestly come to do it, and with humility and courage. There are things that we don't like to admit about ourselves. And if Spirit gives you something you don't like, accept it anyway. And thank God for it. So it's our intention, our dedication, and our commitment that makes this ceremony work. Now we're going to begin, but before we do, we have some special music that's going to be played, and then we'll get into the burning bowl service itself.